Hi guys, welcome to our 10.2 lesson, which is called histograms. So a histogram is a bar graph that shows the frequency of data values in intervals of the same size. The height of a bar represents the frequency or how often the values are in the interval. So the difference between this and a bar graph is that we have intervals instead of individual numbers. So instead of this just being 1, 2, 3, 4, it's intervals. So the numbers 0 through 9, 10 through 19, 20 through 29, and 30 through 39. You have to make sure that your intervals are equal, though. You can't say this is 0 through 9 and this is 10 through 100 because those intervals are very different. So let's try making one. The frequency table shows the number of laps that people in a swimming class completed today. Display the data in a histogram. So it kind of walks us through how to do it. First, it says draw and label the axes. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the x-axis and the y-axis. Remember that the x is the bottom and the y is the one that goes up and down. This is called our frequency. So how often it happens. And then the bottom is the number of laps. Okay, then it says draw a bar to represent the frequency of each interval. So it actually already gives us our intervals 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9, 10 through 12, and 13 through 15. So I can just kind of separate those by saying 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9, 10 through 12, and 13 through 15. Okay, and then the frequency is how often it happens. So it looks like our biggest frequency is 11. So I'm actually going to count it by twos. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. So our first bar that we're going to put in is the frequency of 11. So from 1 to 3, there was 11 people who swam between 1 and 3 laps. So 11 is way up here. We're going to draw it over and then connect it down to where we put that dash. From 4 through 6, we have 4 people. So I'm going to go up to 4, draw over, and then drop it down. From 7 through 9, we have 0, so we're actually not going to put a bar there. From 10 through 12, we have 3. So from here, we'll go up to about 3, draw over and draw down. And then from 13 to 15, we have 6. So we need to go up to about 6, draw over and down. So that is a histogram. The next example says the histogram shows the winning speeds at the Daytona 500. A, which interval contains the most data values? B, how many of the winning speeds are less than 140 miles per hour? And C, how many of the winning speeds are at least 160 miles per hour? So for A, it says which interval contains the most data values. So if we just take a look, this one obviously contains the most data values, and that is from 150 to 159 miles per hour. B says how many winning speeds are less than 140. So this one is 140 or more. So these two are the ones that include numbers that are less than 140. This one has 4 cars that did less than 140, and this one has about 1. So if I add 4 and 1, I get 5 cars that are less than 140. And then finally, how many of the winning speeds are at least 160 miles per hour? So that means 160 or more. So this is 160 and more. And then we have this bar that's also greater than 160. So this one, it looks like it has about 7. And this one has, I think, 5. So we had about 12 cars that won with speeds over 160 or more. All right, next example says the data display shows how many push-ups students in a class completed for physical fitness test. Which data display can you use to find how many students are in the class, and explain? So when we look at these, they include data that looks pretty similar. However, only one of these tells us how many kids are in the class, and that is a histogram. Anytime you deal with percentages or a pie graph, unless it tells you over to the side there are this many students, it could be 10 students or it could be 100 students. We have no idea because it's a percentage. So unless we know exactly how many students there are, we have no idea what this data really means. So the histogram tells us how many students there are. And that is by, so histograms because, or histogram. Whoop. Whoa. Because you can count how many students there are. All right. And our final example says, which statement cannot be made using the data displays in example 3? So this one up here. The first one says 12% of the class completed less than 10 push-ups. So if I look up here, 12% of the class completed 0 through 9, which is less than 10. That is true. So we can make that statement. The next one, 5 students completed at least 10 and at most 19 push-ups. So if I look between 10 and 19 on the histogram, it is 5 students. So that is true. For C, it says at least 1 student completed more than 39 push-ups. So if I look at more than 39, which is going to be 40 or more, it looks like, yes, at least 1 completed more than 39. And then finally, 29% of the class completed 30 or more push-ups. So 30 or more, we have 24% plus 4%. 24 plus 4 is 28, and it says 29% of the class. So this is the one that is false. This claim cannot be made. All right, so if you have any questions, please email me and I can make you videos to help you out with some of the problems on the assignment. Make sure you do your exit ticket and yeah, let me know if you need help on that online assignment. Have an awesome day, guys. Bye.